everybody. Happy Friday and welcome to Fanatic Forum. I'm your Fanatic and host, George Bueller. Hope you guys are having a good week out there. It's definitely been a solid week out here. And of course, we got a very chill, geek hangout, chit-chat day here, catching up on stuff here. And of course, I can't do it without the Dale to my Tucker here because we are fighting evil every day here. Mr. Manhammer, Mr. Friday Night himself. What's shaking?
Yeah, I'm doing whatever hand signal I'm doing here. I don't know. I don't think I'm doing gang signs, but who knows?
You may be. I don't know. So
right.
You may have just insulted somebody.
I hope not. I meant nothing by it. If not, I was trying to do, the devil horns.
Oh, there we go. There you go. Yeah. All metal.
Or the too sweet.
Woo! There you go. See, because it's got to look like a wolf because it's a wolf pack.
Yeah.
See? So how you doing, brother?
I am doing great. It has been a long, slow week. I'm glad the weekend is finally here. I get to have some fun this weekend. I'm getting a new G.I. Joe classified figure tomorrow. Yes, I got Big Lob coming.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I am super excited about him. And then I got to thinking, man, I was like, well, shit. Because I'm like, I have almost all the Roughnecks now.
Oh, yeah.
Only missing Jinx and Chuckles. And then I have the rest of them. And I'm like, well, motherfuck. Because now that means I have to get a Chuckles at some point.
Yeah, I mean, Jinx is widely available. It should be cheap at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chuckles is going to be the difficult one to get a hold of unless they do another one later on.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping they'll give him a retro card release, which I would be cool with, or like a Night Force repaint or something. Apparently there was like a Night Force repaint of Chuckles for like a mail-in line back in that weird transition fan club thing where they weren't in stores and
yeah.
But it's super rare, and I think there was one on eBay that I saw that was like $1,000, but it was like, it was like
Jesus,
fuck a bunch of that.
Yeah, no, yeah, but that'd be cool. Oh, and we got a guest in here, Mr. Bill Doris.
What up, Bill? Oh, dude, hold up, yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah,
it's getting very 90s throwback there.
Yeah, sometimes I can. Oh, no, not that. Yeah. Anyway. No, I was like, I don't want. I wasn't trying to pull off Gary Oldman from The Fifth Element, but no, it is getting a little long because I'm getting the duck butt in the back now. So.
Yeah. I know mine's getting a little bit long as well here. I need to get a cut myself. So.
Yeah. Let's just both do bald. Let's just both shave it all off.
No.
Bill can do it. We can do it too.
I mean, I can go like buzz cut, really short hair, but I can never do fully. But I think I'm convinced that my scalp and my cranium is weirdly shaped, and also probably horribly disfigured with pockmarks thanks to my chicken pox, and I have my tendency to pop those that were on my scalp.
Right.
So I got a feeling it's a fucking landmine up there, and so I'm good with hair. I got really good hair genes. My mother's father, my dear Papo, he passed away from cancer, but not even chemo took his luscious locks.
Oh wow! So, damn.
Yeah, stronger than death, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, he fought. He was in World War II. He killed Nazis and stuff like that. So he was a badass. So.
One of them dudes, one of them old men that was just tough as shit anyway. Because
Yep. I was his buddy. He loved me to death. But yeah. Bill said that's up there with 2004 Cat Williams.
Cat Williams hair. Oh wow.
Why is it sparkling?
Damn. Bill.
I love me some Cat Williams. Oh God. Oh man. So let's see here. We've definitely got lots of geek topics to discuss this evening here, but
yes, we do.
Let's get into our comic reviews because I got some cool ones here.
Are we gonna play How Many Batmans?
Yes, you can play How Many Batmans in this stack. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books here.
Six
So how many
books.
six?
6 books, man. We haven't had a Batman in a minute, and now are we talking? Okay, I'm gonna ask this. I'm not gonna ask specifically. Are we also include if Batman is in a book? Does that mean that it counts as a Batman book? Like he could
Sure.
guest star in a suit? Okay, I'm gonna
Sure.
say 2. I'm gonna say 2.
Ooh, you do say 2. Well,
I do
sir,
say 2.
I would buy a lottery ticket because you read on the money.
Oh wow. Okay,
Because I got
I finally won. How many Batmans?
there you go. So I got 2 from last week. I definitely want to talk about, and then 4 from this week that need to be discussed. But since we're talking the man himself here, this is issue number 7 of the current Matt Fraction run of Batman. This is a particularly important issue because of a couple of things here. So let me run this back a little bit here. In current continuity, they're doing a sequel to the titular Hush series that Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee did.
Oh
The
yeah.
first, yeah, the first 6 issues of that sequel were supposed to be out before the end of last year. And then also, this new run was going to start in between those 6 issues. And then going into the next 6 issues were in 2026. Well, unfortunately, you got Jim Lee on a monthly book. What that means is that God bless Jim Lee. He's a beautiful artist. He's a great editor in chief at DC, but the man can't send in an on time finished issue if it saved his life. So we're late. The 6th issue of the first part has still yet to come out, and we are 3 months into 2026. We were supposed to expect it sometime next month. And then you have the other 6 issues that are still out there. So we were concerned that there was going to be some continuity problems or anything that would affect the storyline that was currently going on in the Hush sequel that may affect current continuity here. So far, 6 issues in, no problem. Now we got our first, because in the first part of Hush 2, literally at the beginning, Joker is at the mercy of Hush himself. And Batman has to make a choice of saving the Joker's life, literally. And basically, since these are basically out last year, the answer is yes, Batman does save Joker's life. And now everybody, including the Bat family, are angry with Batman for doing so. But we haven't seen the Joker since then. He's back. But this scientist, doctor, psychologist lady that is trying to rerun Arkham and make it a nice place with white walls and clean floors and stuff like that, has Joker essentially in this like Bacta tank, like from Star Wars, hooked up to all these chemicals and stuff like that. She's pretty much cured the Joker. He's normal. He's sane. Like he still is a little crazy, but he's got it under control. Right. And basically, he's telling Batman, don't break me out of here. This is good for me. And you need some help on this problem, this problem, this problem. Here's how you do it. So, like, he's wanting to help out and be like buddies with Batman now because the scientist is supposedly cured him. Of course, Batman is still 100% skeptical, doesn't believe this at all. But it's really kind of like, did they actually do it? Did someone cure the Joker?
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting start to this new storyline. So, yeah. But, yeah, really, really, really interesting. And, of course, there's a giant, like, fold-out sequence that, like, if you remember, like, the old splash pages they would do in the 90s, quadruple that. And that's the fold-out that's in here.
Well, so I remember speaking of Jim Lee art, the beautiful fold-out that was in All-Star Batman and Robin, the Boy Wonder, another infamous series that Jim Lee never finished.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm okay with that one.
You know, I was kind of on board with it. Just like, if you can get into the right mindset for just like a Frank Miller bizarro romp, like there's a place for everything. Like I'm even like, I don't want to say I'm defending Holy Terror, but Holy Terror was an interesting read. I will say that. And
but I enjoyed Holy Terror though. That yeah, it is an interesting read. But yeah.
I mean, I know it's a very divisive book, but it's, unhinged Frank Miller, just letting him go. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's some weird stuff. Like Sin City Hell and Back, I think is one of the best stories, but a lot of people hate it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I don't know.
but
I never got why. It was like it's Sin City. It's just
yeah,
it's different. It's new characters. It's not using the same old damn people or whatever else. Like it's a bunch of new people, and I had no problem with it. So
right. Yeah, it was
I
still a
agree with
Sin
you.
City story. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
anyway, back to Jim Lee not finishing anything. One question. Uh
sure.
the only two series that Jim Lee was on that I remember him actually doing all 12 issues of were the original Hush and the Brian Azzarello For Tomorrow Superman arc.
Mm-hmm.
To my knowledge, I don't think Jim Lee has ever finished any other series that he had worked on, including
Nope.
Wildcats.
Okay. He was
Yeah,
on. Well, he was on X Men when he was still with Marvel for a little bit, so he did some X Men stuff. But I mean,
right.
that's not a series he's going to finish, obviously. But yeah,
Yeah,
he
I mean,
didn't.
I'm not holding that one against him.
Yeah, you're right. Didn't finish the original Wildcats. He did like 6 issues, and then he did some sporadic stuff, and then like he did some pages here and there, and then like he came back for issue like 10 or 12 to introduce this new character, and then you never saw that new character ever again. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, like was it like the huntsman or swordsman or something? The dude in black with the sword, like Zealot had.
yeah,
Yeah, you never saw that dude ever again. But yeah,
yeah.
so, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, like I said, yeah, Jim. The crazy thing is, I've seen video of like Jim Lee at cons where he's doing signings or doing remarks or doing sketches for people, and he can freaking like do a sketch in seconds. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like he could. I just maybe it's a plate too full kind of thing. I don't know. So we got some comments filling up in here, so we got to
Yes.
address them. Yes.
Sorry, y'all.
No, good. Yeah. What's up,
Steve!
Steve? Yes,
What up,
sir.
brother? One of the
Oh,
horsemen.
and Steve also digs the fact that my grandpa killed Nazis.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Matter of fact, there was like a platoon of Nazis that his platoon had captured. Some like there were some that some got killed, but some were captured. But it included a major. And so my grandfather stole the major's medals and his sidearms, and I think my dad still has those today.
Oh, that is cool.
And the sidearm still works too, by the way.
Nice.
German engineering, man. Come on.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, and Bill says he wants to put you over his action figure photography. Yes, I
Oh, thank
agree, Bill,
you.
because I see a lot of Seth's stuff. Yes, Seth's action figure photography is choice.
I appreciate that very much, fellas. It's been a really fun hobby getting into it and just like learning photography and getting all the poses and everything. And like, I usually do something with it every day. I don't necessarily even post it every day, but it's just been one of them things that, yeah, it's been a fun hobby. But
Nice, yeah. And we've
but
shown
thank
we've
you, Will. I appreciate it.
we've shared some of your photos on the show before, and anytime you want to share them, because I know you've not 100% completed them, but we're getting very close to 100% completion of the fabulous foursome. That
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
we got the prototype figures of the horsemen going on, and I'm kind of making like I've got like on my Instagram. I didn't realize that you can only pin 3 things on Instagram at a time, but I was trying to do like a Sunday comic strip kind of deal
Oh
where
yeah.
it was like three panels and then 3 panels 6 days a week and then one big thing Sunday, like that kind of a deal. But Instagram's kind of weird with like how it takes pictures. And plus, it's like there's a lot of weird arbitrary guidelines. Like if you have a picture that's in portrait mode, it fucks up like a picture that you want to put in the same slide in landscape mode.
Okay.
And it's like, so it's like I'm just having to work around all that. But it's like something I'm still kind of working on. But yeah.
I dig it. Yeah, but no, yeah, but yeah, I'm with you, Bill. It's some good stuff there. So,
Well,
and
thank you.
Mr. Corey Miller in the house. What's
What
up,
up,
sir?
Corey?
Yeah, Corey's one of our regulars and a great dude over at the shop over at Clobber and Comics. So, yeah, Corey said you're just about to read number 7. So cool. Oh, and you're welcome on the recommendation on Dork, dude. That is a hilarious book. And issue 2, which I hope you got a copy in your file because if not, we sold the heck out of that one. But anyway, yeah, number 2 is just as hilarious. So I'm on board with the series. Matter of fact, I'm enjoying Dork so much that with Brett Bean's work on it, I need to go back and start reading his volume of I Hate Fairyland, or the more appropriately titled Fuck Fairyland, because it's one of those books that got two titles. There's the censored and the uncensored title. So
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, so the real title of the book is "Fuck Fairyland" because there's this little girl who just like she's tired of fairy tales, so she literally finds a way to fairyland and she's plowing through with her axe, literally.
Yeah.
Like so, yeah, it's a hilarious series. What I've seen of it, I love the covers. Like I need to go and check it out. So, oh, you ordered all the very? Oh, well, if you ordered stuff there, it's in your file, dude. Yeah, I'm sure. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, no, and I want to say this about Clobberin too. That it's like I know that Clobberin's the kind of store like Dork. This is a topical book because I know a little bit about this going on right now. Like as soon as that was one of those books that was like super low print run, but like it blew the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
And like then you're like all over Reddit, you were reading stories about people's shops like pulling this book out of their files and selling it for like whatever. But yeah, it's like no, like Clobberin's not even one of those stores that would even have to think about doing that. They're just like, yeah, like that's what I just love about your all's place. It's like it's just a true comic book store that it's like, yeah, they're going to get what you want, and yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, that's the way Tommy runs his place, and I wholeheartedly agree to that philosophy. It's like we hate the flippers, and like it's perfectly fine when you've got other sellers, people selling books on there. But when you've got people like jacking up the price of brand new books because some streamer or some some person on social media is hyping up this book and saying, "Oh my God, you got to read this thing," and then everybody's clamoring for it. But the thing that pisses me off that all of these influencers are doing, they're doing this when final order cutoff has already happened. So that means that if no one's ordered this book, the shop may only order 10 copies of it. It's something new, but that no one's really ordering it. But then that 1 week before it's released, or worse of the week of release, people are going, "Oh, you got to check this book out. Got you this book out." Then it sells out. It sells out like crazy, and people can't keep up with the demand for it. So, my advice is if you're going to hype up an up and coming book, something that's going to be really, really big, and you got, there's a lot of hype behind it. Do it when it's the friggin' solicitations come out 2 months before the release date.
Yeah.
So then the readers, the people who would be interested, your viewers or whatever else, you have the time to order that book from your local comic shop. You can get all the variant covers or even the higher priced incentive covers and support your local shop and support this book if you actually really cared about it. But the people just care about the hype. And so, unfortunately, books like Dork, which are really good, they sell out because they get hyped up. Another book that fell victim to this, which is really good, we unfortunately sold out of this one really quickly. A second print is on the way. But this is Nectar, #1 from Vault Comics. Now, this is, of course, beautiful covers on here, but it's a creature book because you've got these beautiful butterflies. It's a story based somewhat on reality here. Also, if you can't tell, that's a face with her tongue sticking out.
Oh, wow. Yep. Okay.
Buried in the butterflies, and then basically the one butterfly's on the tip of the tongue there.
Yeah, so, okay.
And the tip of the tongue's bloody there. But yeah. So the story on this one is in the late 1800s in a small New England town. This out of season, this large flock of butterflies comes through, and everybody's like, "Oh, wow, that's really lovely." But the butterflies have this little extra like claw thing that comes out of them and drinks your blood. But then when it drinks your blood, it leaves something behind. So the first victim literally fell victim to the old-fashioned dancing mania, where literally you would start dancing around and you're overjoyed until literally you collapsed in exhaustion. So we don't, and other people are getting bit by these things too. So we don't know if they're all going to succumb to this or if it's going to be different types of things, because another person, that was bitten didn't have the dancing mania, but they definitely acted very violently. So, and kind of had to be put down. So we maybe think there might be different things affecting these people. So it's a really cool book. with beautiful art in it, but it fell victim to this hype thing of getting hyped well past order cutoff. So we sold a lot of these because Tommy was able to. We got latched on this one because I was talking about this one with my streamers literally when the solicitations came out.
Right.
And he was able to reorder like a few extra copies. So we had I think we ended up getting like 30 copies of this A cover in when we had it. And we sold every damn one of those on one of my Tuesday night streams. I mean, it just went quick.
Yeah.
But again, that's the problem is that, you want to recommend these books to people because they're really cool and want to support your local shops. But then you get these, people on there, then there you go.
Now, let me ask you this too. If in regards to this, now I've heard that some people that speculators do this and it's a big problem. So in regards to like books like The Walking Dead being like one of the most hottest modern books, right? Like they were like because there was only like what 7,500 of them printed or something like that.
Yeah.
Like ridiculously low print run, but it's a hot ass book.
For number one. For number one.
Yeah, for number one. But now like there like every once in a while, like there'll be image books that'll pop up that'll be number ones, and then there will be like dork that'll like just blow up. And so then for like the next 6 months to a year, any image number one will be almost hard as fuck to find because people, just the speculators, are buying multiple copies of it, hoping it'll get optioned into something.
Yeah. You're hoping to get it optioned or just they're going to make money off of it in some way, shape, or form or, whatever the case may be. So, yeah.
I mean, I know there's always the number one speculators that'll get a number one for everything, but Image puts out so many books that are number ones too that it's like not everything's going to be,
Yeah, not everything's going to take off. Yeah. But the funny thing is that there's books that, in the recent weeks that are also getting the speculation train, as well. 51 was one of them. Tigress Island, White Sky was another book came out a few weeks ago. And these particular books did not live up to the way they were being hyped up, but they still sold out. Right. But I looked at them like, guys, you might want to save your money. Because 51, the concept is really funny. Basically, the president has an idiot son, and the idiot son decides that he's going to open up Area 51 so the public can see everything. Unfortunately, in this version of Area 51, there's a lot of dangerous shit in there. So it's a very much a comedy sci-fi book, but the art is very mid. So yeah, I don't really cap with you. But so, speaking of Tommy here, George has dancing mania every time Poppy's tacos are around. Well, that's damn right, because I mean they're the best. I'm sorry. There is a reason why we serve those at my birthday party.
Dude, those tacos are so damn good.
Oh. And that's just the steak tacos. They have many other kinds of tacos and other varieties of Mexican food that is all delicious. So, yeah, Poppy's Tacos in Elizabethtown and Radcliffe, check them out.
Yeah, when Michelle started putting the lid back on them, it was like, oh, they're going away. Because everybody was just grazing on them like all night. Yeah.
Dude, we had an entire pan of those tacos left after the party. So for like a week, the shells weren't all that great, so we were eating a lot of taco bowls, but nonetheless, steak tacos.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so, and then Tommy says, that's actually happening right now. I'm getting a lot of orders for number ones across the board for a lot of people. There you go.
Okay, yeah, wow, okay. Yeah, straight.
A new number one, there you go. Yeah. And Dankinator, what's up, Steve? Says, fuck yes, those are amazing tacos. Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
Having problems on Facebook again because Steve had to switch from YouTube to Facebook to YouTube. But
well, I mean, also if he's probably out driving, then some. Sometimes when you're out driving, Facebook goes in and out, but YouTube rock solid. So shout out to YouTube there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, back to the other four new books here.
Yeah, I apologize. I derail us as I am wont to do.
We might as well just rename the show the Fanatic Forum Derailment because that's what we're all about, dude. We always derail.
That should be our jazz band name, our jazz fusion band. Yeah,
the Fanatic Forum Derailment. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
But we got to get like a featuring, but it's not featuring like anybody who's actually in the band, but somebody like a cool name of someone who doesn't exist. Like, I don't know, like Herbie Dershowitz or something. I don't know. Yeah. Well, God, what was the name from the Kids in the Hall? Uh, there was like a trio of guys that like they were a garage band, but they never like played anywhere else. But it was like, oh God, they had a really crappy name, but it was like featuring Brian such and such or something. But yeah, anyway, but yeah. No. Anyway,
it's been so long since I've seen Kids in the Hall. I loved them, but yeah.
Oh, and Steve, that's exactly what happened. He's out driving. So see, there you go. Shout out to YouTube and their stable connection there. Yes. So, but yeah, I mean, I love Kids in the Hall, and also the return season that they did on Prime was really solid. So yeah, shout out to that one.
Nice.
Absolute Batman number 18 this week here. This is the second half of the Poison Ivy introduction here and her conflict. Also, you find out that we finally get to see the Court of the Owls in the Absolute Universe. And apparently, Martha Wayne used to be a Talon.
Oh.
Bum, bum. Yeah.
Interesting.
And she's trying to get the court, like, we have problems in our city. My son's trying to do something about it. We used to do stuff about this. But for some reason, he, stopped us. And I think that he is the Joker. I think we're finally going to get to see Joker a little more active in this Absolute Universe. And I'm telling you, dude, as weird, as terrifying, as maniacal as the Joker that everybody's used to in the regular DC Universe, the Absolute Universe Joker, you are not ready for this guy. Because he looks very normal and dashing and just, he looks like how Bruce Wayne should be. And then he also turns into this literal monster, but he is also the world's richest, most powerful man, and he is also the most evil person to ever exist. So, yeah. Okay. But there's a big thing that happens in the fight between Batman and Poison Ivy. Because this whole thing, like, we're getting close with the Batman kind of maybe, going a little too far or being a little too more aggressive than your traditional Batman, but he still never has gone over the line of like killing or attempting to kill somebody. That changes in this book. And I'm not going to say exactly what happens, whether he does or not, but a line is crossed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like ECW, the night the line was crossed. Dun, 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 dun,
dun. Oh my God. No, I mean, it's, as an old school Batman reader, it's like, that was a big moment. I'm like, oh, damn. Okay.
Huh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I need to start getting into the Absolute Universe because I heard about like the whole like new concept of Darkseid that they were doing, which was like the idea that like every time that we've seen Darkseid before has just been more of like a mirage or a shade of Darkseid because he's omnidimensional, and that's how Superman could beat the shit out of him in one thing, and then like he could lose spectacularly in so many different ways. But yeah, it's just we're only seeing a fraction of Darkseid's true power at any given time, and I'm like, okay, that is awesome and makes a lot of sense for that character.
I'm telling you, basically since probably starting with Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths and then going from there, and then I can't remember whether there was one other event that happens, and then you get the All-In special, which kind of kickstarts this new kind of All-In universe, which also birthed the Absolute Universe as well. From that point currently going, you would love this DC universe because everything is pretty much connected, and they do a really good job of connecting the parts that need to be connected, and the stuff that basically like your street level kind of stuff still is, but there's an awareness that big shit's happening in the world.
Yeah.
And the big shit is that basically Darkseid merged with the Spectre. He took the Spectre into himself, so not only was he the representation of death, he's literally death himself now. So that's why he's so powerful right now. But
Oh,
then
okay.
when that happens and he confronts the Justice League in their own satellite, brand new satellite, they're all got their members and everybody's hanging out and having a nice little cocktail party, and then boom, superpowered Darkseid shows up to ruin everything, and then immediately like says a speech and then explodes. And then when he explodes, he basically everybody realizes like all your Mr. Terrifics and your scientists and whatnot, kind of like what had happened? Because basically he cut everything off from the entire multiverse. So there's us and there's the absolute universe, and that's it right now. Everything else is cut off thanks to Darkseid. And this absolute world is literally made of Darkseid's energy.
Right.
It is him. It is of him. It is all him. So that's what's going on in the DC universe right now.
I may dip my toes in. It's still it was still a rough breakup after what they did to me with the new 52 horse shit. Like it.
They started making good with some stuff in Rebirth. Not everything was great, but there's a lot of good in there. But I really think what's like right now, sales for DC stuff across the board, not just the absolute stuff, sales across the board for DC are killing everything. Like Marvel is begging for scraps.
Oh,
But
wow.
because Marvel across the board, like there are some high points in Marvel stuff right now. But there's also a lot of low points because we're basically subjected with too much Spider-Verse, too much X-Men stuff that no one's buying. And so then that's causing people to skip other books, like basically, say, for instance, the new Marvel Cosmic stuff that's going on here with this Imperial Guardians #1.
I like how you're segueing all this together, by the way. I don't mean to stop you, but go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
that's completely accidental. That's
Bravo.
completely accidental. Yeah. But yeah, so you get Dan Abnett, who basically was kind of the 20th century father. He and Andy Lanning brought about like basically the Annihilation Conquest, the Guardians of the team that we know from the movies, stuff like that. They did all that in the 2000s. So basically bringing back the Marvel Cosmic stuff just as good as it was back in the old 90s with the Infinity Gauntlet stuff. So Dan was coming back doing a new series with this Imperial Guardians team because what's going on, the Marvel Cosmic stuff has been pretty interesting. But sales are really low, so basically all those sayings are getting killed across the board. This was going to be an ongoing, but now it's a 4-issue series, which is a damn shame because this is a solid first issue here.
Yeah.
You've got basically a Guardian, basically a team that's kind of essentially in the Imperial storyline that happened. A bunch of rulers of different planets, races, whatever else, were all getting killed off. And so it's kind of a murder, it's an intergalactic murder mystery. You find out that basically it's Maximus and Black Bolt of the Inhumans that are working to try to shake the base of power and bring themselves back up to their former glory because they've been out for so long. So it's basically Maximus mostly doing the work because he's the manipulator, he's the evil genius of the Inhumans, but Black Bolt's agreeing to this and letting him do it. So he's essentially just as complicit. So you have all this happens. You find out what kind of ends up happening. The balance of power is shook in the Imperial universe, the cosmic universe for Marvel stuff. And there's a very loose kind of peace going on right now. Barely a truce, but a lot of generational shakeup now. Like basically for instance, Star-Lord, his father, Jason Spartak, was killed. And so now he's in charge of his father's kingdom, which is basically one of the largest kingdoms in the Marvel universe. So it's like, yeah, he can't be a superhero anymore because he's now a ruler.
Right.
So,
wow.
And so like Gamora is leading this team. She's doing it for him, but she also can't be with him romantically or as a friend because she's basically beneath him now. And she's essentially doing a lot of questionable stuff because basically Maximus is kind of like the Charlie and the Charlie's Angels sort of thing. So he's screwing with these guys. He's going to manipulate them to do stuff he wants that isn't necessarily the good thing. And so you got Gamora and essentially Carol Danvers, Ms. Marvel, that are essentially keeping an eye on him. Because like we don't trust him. We know he's going to screw us sooner or later, if he hasn't already. So we got to stay on top of him. Worst part is that Maximus's lapdog is the freaking Cosmic Ghost Rider. And if you don't know who the Cosmic Ghost Rider is, in the future, Frank Castle somehow gets to be a herald of Galactus, and so he's turned into one of the riders, but that makes him also go insane. So now suddenly Frank Castle, who's still a murderous psychopath, now has personality and snarky comebacks because he's basically batshit crazy. But then also he becomes a essentially kind of an envoy for Thanos at the end of the universe at one point. In basically this future he comes from. So basically Maximus plucks him and brings him on the team as his lapdog. But it's like he's just super powerful and crazy as all get out. It's like he's the Charlie from It's Always Sunny, like the wild card of the team. Yeah, he's the wild card, but he's all bad. Then you got Amadeus Cho on here, who's the junior Hulk, but he's for some reason in a Stark suit and calling himself Brawn. I don't know. And then last but not least, Darkhawk, which Darkhawk is one of those characters that had a lot of potential in the 90s, but they've never quite capitalized on it. But when you get good writers, he makes it interesting because he's basically the joke of the team. Everybody makes fun of him because he's kind of the loser superhero who never quite figured out how to be a superhero, because essentially the alien suit that he is wearing is technically not supposed to be compatible with humans, so he's always fighting the suit. But then now the suit is showing him like these visions of a possible future that are like horrible, just like completely evil, tragic shit. And so he can't tell if this is like really happening or if it's like he's going crazy. But sometimes these visions have proven true. So it's like, is the suit trying to warn me of something? Am I going nuts? Am I now psychic? So there's all this shit going on. So it's a fascinating, great first issue. But fucking Marvel and their bullshit editor-in-chief C.B. Cebulski, who can't keep the damn company together, is losing his grip on all the good stuff because you're pushing the bad shit.
Is that the same guy that pretended to be an Asian man and wrote?
I can't remember if that's the same one or not, but he's been editor-in-chief for Marvel for quite some time, and this has been kind of a low point for Marvel, with the exception of like there's been some high points here and there. But like, of course, obviously the Ultimate Universe stuff has been really good. But yeah, he's made a lot of bad decisions and pushed a lot of bad shit. Or basically kind of pulled a Vince McMahon and pushed wrestlers or certain superheroes that nobody likes, but for some reason they keep getting titles or keep being tried to make important. I'm looking at you, Ms. Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Kamala Khan's a good character, but for some reason they're pushing her really hard on us, and the fans are fighting back, going, "We're not buying her books. Bye."
See, and that's the thing that kills me is like shit. Like, okay, like Miles Morales, right? Like, brilliant character, brilliant idea to have like have a Spider-Man, but a Spider-Man that other people can identify with.
A completely different guy.
Yeah, completely different guy. But it's like he's still tied into the lore. He's still like, he's still like he gets to have his own stories, though, his own villains, his own arcs, and it's like I am totally down for that. But then there's like characters like Mrs. Marvel that just kind of none of that is organic with it. Like with Miles Morales, it was thought out. It was like, the seeds were planted there. He was like given like we were allowed to see the origin of that character. With stuff like what they're doing with Mrs. Marvel, it's like almost paint by numbers. Here's your cookie cutter origin that is very saccharine and insert tragedy or trauma. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah, but then the thing is too that's made it all the more confusing. Like, okay, in the comics, her origin of her powers were because the Inhumans on Earth released the Terrigen mists around just the general public. So that's basically when you are of the Inhuman race and you're becoming like into your powers, you go into some kind of a chamber where else in this whole ceremony, you breathe in these mists, they put you in this cocoon, and then when you emerge, you are now officially an Inhuman. So sometimes your entire form, your appearance changes, but either way, you get some sort of powers and abilities you didn't have previously. Right. So this happens with Kamala. And she now has like basically, she can make like her fists larger and kind of stretchy herself. So she's got all these weird kind of like somewhat Mr. Fantastic kind of Plastic Man-y kind of powers. Well, then flash forward 15 years later, where they kill her off for about 3 months. the X-Men resurrect her when they still had the resurrection protocols going, and now suddenly they resurrect her because she had mutant DNA in her. Her mutant powers had been dormant this entire time, but because of the Inhuman stuff happening in there, that screwed it up a little bit. So yeah, she's actually a crossbreed of an Inhuman and a mutant. But her mutant powers are not 100% clear what the hell they are right now because
Of course not. Yeah.
Because they haven't figured them out yet. But now they're trying to make her like this big tentpole major character. They put this like series of Kamala going through X-Men history and possibly changing events, and then basically kind of bringing that all back together. And no one bought that series. So it's like, it's like no one cares. The same goes in the Spider-Verse. You created 2 new Spider-Verse characters. So you already had your Miles, you already had your Spider-Gwen, and all these other, crazy other versions of Spider-Man or Spider-Woman or whatever else. But then you create this new character, Spider-Boy, and then he spun off of a Spider-Girl character, which you basically have 2 children spin-off characters. Nobody fucking cared about them either. Didn't buy them. Series got canceled.
I was going to say, it sounds awful. Spider-Boy? No.
Yeah, it's just the way they introduced the Spider-Boy character is that they had like a Spider-Verse thing happening. All these people were getting cut away from the web of fate sort of thing like that. So they were getting cut out of existence. And then when they brought everybody back, all the people they had lost, because there was a few major characters like Jessica Drew Spider-Woman that got killed off, they brought her back. And all of a sudden this Spider-Boy kid pops up. He's like, hey guys, it's me. It's Riley. I'm back. And everyone's like, who the hell is this guy? And so the whole thing is like, why does no one remember him? Who is he? Where did he come from? No one gives a shit,
So they didn't even make it interesting, like the 6th season of Buffy, whenever they brought in her little sister.
Yeah.
Did you ever know what they did with that, or did you ever hear what they did?
No, I would. No disrespect to Buffy fans, but I never got into the show, so no.
Oh. It was actually pretty genius because like the 5th season ends, right, and then like the 6th season starts up, and so like the 6th season starts up, and there's suddenly like how the credits start up. There's this Michelle Trachtenberg is in the credits all of a sudden, like as a regular character. And then like Buffy's sister just starts being included in these things. And there's never been mention of a sister in 5 seasons previously. Right. But like they've plugged her like integrally into the series, and none of the characters are questioning it. Right. So like, and this goes on for like 8 or 9 episodes. Like, if I remember correctly, like they drag the gag. But then it comes out that is a plot device. Like something has happened in the big thing that's made all of them not remember her. But it was just fucking brilliant because of course, like the fans too, and they're like, "What the hell's going on? Like, who's the sister? Why? Yeah.
Why does no one realize that she's new? Yeah. Oh, and Clyde Hall popping in here. Good to see you, Mr. Clyde. Hello, sir. Basically, he's backing up. Yeah. Yes, he did originally claim Asian identity at one point. So
yeah, he part of that. I remember that because I was pissed off at that because it was part of that Age of Apocalypse relaunch.
That's okay.
One of those miniseries was like supposedly written by his Asian alter ego, and it was fucking awful. Yeah.
Okay. I remember that. Okay. Yep. Well, thank you, Clyde, and thank you, Seth. Yes. All right. Well, my last Marvel pick, and this was a good one here, definitely want to check out. I was a little skeptical if this was going to be as good because the original Jessica Jones Alias series, or just the Alias series that Brian Bendis did for Marvel back in the day, which the Netflix Jessica Jones series was based off of, was one of the best Marvel series ever. So they were going to do a new Alias series, but it's a Marvel Red Band, which means extra violence and extra adult content in here. And Sam Humphries is the writer on this one with the last name's Borges. I can't remember the first name of the artist on the one. Either way, excellent first issue on here. Of course, the beautiful cover by David Mack, because you can't do a Jessica Jones book without a David Mack cover. It's just not right. So the space-time continuum breaks down. But anywho, so the storyline kicking off of this one, if in current Marvel continuity, Luke Cage, husband of Jessica Jones, is mayor of New York City. It is illegal to be a vigilante in New York City. So Luke basically can't be a superhero. And Jessica Jones, as a conflict of interest, can't be a superhero, and the New York State pulls her private detective license because she's been a vigilante previously. So she's out of office, out of the job, can't do what she's supposed to do. A new case pops up. And she's like, Luke, this is connected to me. I've got to take care of this. I've got to work on this. And he's like, I know you do. But I mean, they get into like a severely bad argument fight between as a husband and wife. Like it's really, really like Jessica says some stuff that's going to be hard to walk back. And Luke is just kind of like hands tied because, it's, political red tape.
Right.
Well, enter Typhoid Mary, who is the current wife of Wilson Fisk, the kingpin, who was previously mayor of New York City before Luke. Mary's running around right now, still under former mayor protection and enjoying all the confines of being basically the kingpin's wife. Wilson currently is in a coma thanks to the Punisher in the 5th issue of his Red Band series. So Wilson's out of action right now. So Mary's a little bored. She knows what's going on in Jessica's case here. She's like, hey, I can help you out. No, Typhoid Mary is schizoid, so she has 2 personalities going on. One of them is psychotic and also a pyrotechnic, which means she can start fires with her brain. But she really loves carving people up with knives and all kinds of bad things like that. But for some reason, she decides she wants to be Helpy Helperton. What could possibly go wrong?
Helpy Helperton.
Yeah, so great start to that first issue. Highly recommended for some good Marvel Noir stuff there. Yeah. Yeah. And last but not least, coming out of IDW here, a good spooky book and a sequel to last year's Exorcism at 1600 Penn, which basically involved a female president of the United States and a member of her family being possessed by a literal demon. And you get a lot of political thriller stuff going on there because there's basically conflicts going on with other countries. So you don't know if it's actually something that's a military operation, like somebody kind of screwing with people, that it's not a supernatural thing, or is it actually a supernatural thing?
Right.
We bring you to the first issue of Exorcism at Buckingham Palace. So this takes us back into, I believe, kind of like, it's a different world. We're not dealing with the royal family's last name is. I can't remember the King Charles and all that kind of jazz. Whatever their last name is, Windsor. That's it. Yeah, we're not dealing with the Windsor family. We are dealing with the Belmont family, which basically, of course, made my Castlevania heart a little happy there.
Right, I was gonna, yeah.
Yeah. And much like the Belmont family in the Castlevania series, there's apparently a curse in the Belmont family here in the royal family as well, because they apparently see what they refer to as the shadow of the crown, a black figure that basically haunts whoever's king at that point, and it eventually causes madness, addiction, whatever else kind of stuff like that. So several members throughout the history of this royal family have passed away and under odd circumstances, suicides, things like that. This book starts off with a large section of the royal family that decide to all go on a trip together on a big old boat. And the big old boat gets attacked by something and is now considered missing, which means there are no direct heirs to the king. And the king is an old man, and he's ready to step down before dying because he wants to pass on the crown in a happy way instead of passing it down when someone dies and then you got to take over. So they basically go digging around and realize there's a lone nephew that has had some trouble with addiction, but he's cleaned himself up and trying to live the quiet life. He's the last one. So it's like, so this dude who's trying to get married, trying to live a normal life, stay off the booze, boom, he's now the next king. And he's kind of learning this. The addiction starts coming back, as does the shadow of the crown. So... so the question is, are we dealing with madness and addiction? Or are we dealing with an actual evil presence that has haunted this family for generations. So they do a really good job with kind of the British politics of the search for the royal family that basically that are missing at sea, but then also the basically the kind of the realization that they may all be dead, so we have to find a successor now. Sort of like, so there's a lot of real world politics within the British side of politics there, so that's very interesting. Frankly, the Exorcism of 1600 Pen series kind of had a bit of a slow burn to it. It was a good exorcism, kind of building up the horror as you should in an exorcism storyline. This is doing that well too, but they make the politics and the world stuff a little more interesting in this one than they did in the 1600, I think. So I think it's the same creative team behind the first series, but I think they just do a better job of the writing in this first issue. So yeah, I'm on board for this one. Check it out. And we still have copies. We didn't sell out of that one. All right. I've chatted on for long enough about comics, other bullshit. So we got some other stuff to talk about. So what would you like to talk about?
I don't know. We were just going to talk about some nerdy things tonight. So
cool.
The first thing that I kind of wanted to talk about was something that I know you're probably more into than I was. Or than I currently am, but I'm trying to rekindle my interest into it. Hang on, I got my
you got an image to share?
Yes, I always do this, and yeah, there we go. Yeah. So Masters of the Universe. Yeah, the trailer came out on Amazon, right? And and it actually looked pretty good. I do have some issues with it. I don't think He-Man needs to be on Earth. Like, we obviously tried that once before, and
it's a reverse Superman.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't like that, like, as far as the lore goes, like, that just ain't my thing. But like the stuff, the fight, the He-Man fight, thing that they were showing looked cool. But so I'm trying to get into like the show again, specifically the 2003 one. And because I heard that that's more of like the serious take, kind of.
Yeah, it's not as grown up as the Kevin Smith Netflix stuff, but it's definitely a much more serious, less lighthearted take, and it is awesome. It cut way too soon.
Yeah. I'm only like probably 10 episodes into it, but it's pretty fun. Like, it's sometimes it's hard to still like kind of let myself get back into the mindset that it is a children's cartoon.
Yeah.
But it's like, but I can do it for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Why can't I do it for He-Man? Like, but there's some parts of it that like really kind of got me. Like in the first episode or the second episode, when he actually turns into He-Man for the first time. And like he's talking to everybody, and then like he runs off and like, has to, because he can't let him know that he's Prince Adam, right?
Sure.
But then like 2 seconds as soon as He-Man is out of eyesight, Merman's like, now's my time, and comes and ambushes everybody and swallows Man-at-Arms and shit. And it's like, okay, so it's like He-Man like doesn't notice any of this. Like, Merman is on this giant fish that is flying. But yeah, I mean, that's just me being nitpicky because it's a kid show. But yeah.
I know, but yeah. The writing does get better as the series goes on. But yeah, I can't remember if it lasted 3 seasons or.
Yeah, on Plex they only have 2, and that's where I've been watching it. So I believe that I know there's something like 60 or 70 episodes all in all.
Maybe it was only 2 seasons. Okay, so I think they left it on a cliffhanger.
Okay.
So they leave the series on a cliffhanger, and they were expecting to do another series. And they did. So maybe it was only 2 seasons. They expected a third. That may have been it.
Okay.
So, but I can't remember. I'll have to research for myself there. But yeah, that was an excellent cartoon. So yeah, I agree.
Now, cool. Did you dig the Netflix Masters of the Universe, or
I did? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had no problem with it. I know some people got all crazy. Like, oh, it's all woke and everything. And where's He-Man? I'm like, the whole premise of the show was like, hey, let's do a little bit different take, and let's kind of see things from Tila's point of view. And there's still He-Man in the series and all everything else you enjoy, but we're kind of doing it from a little bit different way. And it's going to be a little more grown up than, what you were used to as a child, but it's also a sequel to that stuff.
Yeah. Which is like, yeah, it's like Eternia is a weird place, you know. It's like I don't want to see it all about like He-Man isn't the only interesting thing in Eternia. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's good to know because it's like I was like, yeah, do I need to finish the 2000 series to watch
No,
the Netflix one? So
no,
my current knowledge of Masters of the Universe will be fine to proceed.
yes. Yeah, because
Okay.
basically Kevin Smith literally made his two Netflix He-Man series to be sequels to the original 80s stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Because you had like the 90s He-Man where everybody's out in space, and He-Man's all skinny and crap, and then
Yeah,
you
that
had
was
that.
weird.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, and then you had the 2000s reboot, which everybody loved because the figures looked cool. Like it was kind of like the classifieds version of He-Man because you had like
Right.
slightly different. There was a look you recognize, but there's a slightly different mold to it or whatever else. So a little
Those
bit
are the
different look.
Four Horsemen figures too, right? Where they blew
Yep.
up, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
those were I love that toy line and the cartoon that that surrounded it was really good. Also, there was a run for a long time where it started a little bit at Image and then it went over to DC. But there was a run of He-Man comics that ran for like 5 volumes with DC that ended with a 2 volume series called the Eternity War that was awesome.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah. And then you also had a DC versus Masters of the Universe miniseries, and then there was another miniseries that was like He-Man versus the Multiverse or something like that, and that introduced the anti-Eternia He-Man, which is basically like the antimatter He-Man, the one that's all black with the red hair.
Right, right,
I don't
yeah.
know if you've seen him or not, but yeah, that
I've
introduced
seen
that
the
character,
figure,
and
yeah.
that dude's a badass, and he's not a good guy.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, he basically it's an evil version of He-Man. So he's
Yeah,
super powerful, super confident, and loves murder and destruction. So yeah, yeah, he's a bad dude. But yeah, so
yeah.
that's good stuff there.
Have you
One thing we
seen
oh
oh,
sorry, go
sorry.
ahead.
Have you seen the He-Man, or the Masters of the Universe Chronicles figures they're coming out with?
Mm-hmm.
That,
Yeah, for the
yeah,
movie.
that are in scale with the classifieds and Marvel Legends and are now going to be more in scale with, the DC Mattel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And man, this has just got dangerous because everything's scaling to my needs. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's two different lines for the movie figures. Because you got like the Origins line, which is the cheaper versions, and then you got the what is it? What is the line you said again?
The Chronicles line.
Chronicles, yeah, the Chronicles
Yeah.
line, which is basically like the Masterverse stuff currently, which is like the nice looking figures that you pay like $30 for,
Yeah.
kind of stuff like that. Yeah, those are sweet.
Yeah.
Those are going to be a little hard to pass up, especially there's a He-Man that can make all the poses that a normal He-Man can make, like raising the sword
The
high, or basically even being able to pose
yeah.
to pull, to sheathe the sword.
Yes. Yeah. He can do that number. Yeah. Oh, man.
And then Battle Cat looks really cool. And there's a set, the two of them. Yeah, I know.
Dude,
We're
that
in
Battle
trouble.
Cat looks so friggin' cool. Oh, and that He-Man, you know what else that it can do that a lot of fiction action figures cannot do?
What was that?
The two-handed grip. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Getting the power sword with the two-handed grip.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're in trouble. Another reason to kind of get a little hype about this He-Man movie that's coming up here in a few months.
Mhm.
Are you aware who's doing the score for this movie?
No.
Yeah, this was announced about a week or so ago, and I get it. Of course, we weren't on to talk about this, but I was talking about it on my streams. Brian May of Queen.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My Flash Gordon heart's going pitter
I was
patter
I
right
was
now.
gonna say, yeah, that's actually pretty epic. Yeah,
Uh
hell
huh.
yeah.
And I forget which other movies, but Brian has scored other movies aside from Flash Gordon, because it was just him, not Queen.
Right.
But yeah, yeah, and Brian, it's okay. I gotta look up Brian May score movies now. But yeah, Brian May scoring the He-Man movie just upped the quality of that, because even if it's crap, it's gonna rock. And
Right.
so it's gonna, and yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't even I'm not even necessarily sure that the movie's going to be crap because apparently Mattel is very very aware of how their brands are being perceived, and like Barbie was a huge gamble with how they were going to do that as a film, and it worked out pretty well, and so that led them to be a little more confident with something like He-Man, where it may not necessarily be like, like a direct adaptation, so to speak, but like it's going to be enough to, yeah, like that. Yeah, it's,
Enough to introduce a new generation to the
yeah,
character. So yeah,
right.
that's fine.
And that trailer did look pretty friggin' cool.
It looks fun, and of course, it's
Yeah.
filled with like, and you could freeze frame it, and a lot of people have done that online already. Freeze frame it and see like other like obscure He-Man villains and heroes, or certain vehicles or places or whatever. So like, this is going to be fun for the deep cut fans, just to see like, oh, there's that guy, oh, there's that guy, oh, there's that. There's gonna be a lot of that.
I just want a prominent role for Stinkor.
Yeah, or at least if he can't be in the first movie, he will be in the sequel or something. But yes, I'm with you.
I am a big Stinkor fan. He is probably my favorite Masters of the Universe villain. That was my favorite Masters of the Universe figure growing up, just because it fucking stank. And yeah, it's
And you know what he was scented with?
what's that?
Patchouli oil.
Oh damn! I think we might have had this conversation once before.
I think we
I
did. I think we
yeah,
did. Yeah, but yeah,
but that
he,
makes sense. Yeah, but yeah, he smelled awful. But it
and
was
see,
cool.
I didn't mind him, which explains my entire high school dating, because I like the girls that wore patchouli oil.
You're like, you remind me of the toys that I used to play with as a child.
You remind me of my skunk action figure.
It was
Oh,
cool though that they could keep the smell in if you had the armor on his chest. You
dude,
know?
that thing lasted for decades. I mean, because like,
Yeah.
I remember like my mom digging through some of her storage crap, and I had like this big, like giant, like suitcase luggage bag that was filled with all my He-Man figures, and so they were all still in there. And like Harrison, who was my nephew, who was like 6, 7, something like that, or wherever else. Oh God, not that 6, 7. Anyway, he sees the toys. Is like, oh, what's that? And so mom's like, oh, hey, here's all your stuff. And so she texts me. He's like, hey, Harrison found all your old He-Man stuff. I was like, give them to him. Give them all to him.
Yeah.
So so she gave him. But yeah, Stinkor still smelled. He wasn't very strong, but if you stuck your nose up to it, he still stunk.
Right.
And so did Moss Man. Moss Man still smelled piney fresh. So
Moss Man was a cool concept for a figure too. I got it. Yeah.
It was a repaint of Beast Man, flocked with basically AstroTurf and given a pine scent.
Yeah.
But you had a whole new figure. It was cool.
I mean, right.
Well, one thing you could definitely appreciate that I would like to discuss here, because you've been wanting me to finish this series, or at least get caught up now that the second season is now currently streaming on Hulu, or not Hulu, on Peacock. We're talking about Ted.
That was actually one of my picks too, so we could both talk about it. Yes, I'm so glad that one of my buddies has watched this show. Bill, if you're still watching, you need to watch this damn show.
Yes, it's frankly, I like this better than the movies.
Yes, I do too. I do too. The show is so much better than the movies.
I'm completely through the first season, and I'm on episode 5 of the second season, where the niece has to get an abortion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have
I'm
you finished
on.
that one yet?
I have not finished. I'm almost at the end of it, but I'm getting very close to it. Yeah, I'm getting close to the end of that one. But I love the episode before it, where where Maddie and Ted do the school play, and on performance night things go wrong. I don't want to spoil it for everybody here.
That to me was the scene that I texted y'all about, that I thought was on par with being as funny as the Vietnam confession scene.
The Vietnam confession scene, yes, yeah. Even though I love the D&D episode from the first season, though. That was really fun.
Yeah. I think the D&D episode was the second season.
It was the second season. Yeah, it was second. Yeah, it was second.
Yeah, but no, the school play episode was just great. Like that. I mean,
But yeah, of course, if you're familiar with the movies for Ted, where you got Mark Wahlberg as a grown man, he's buddies with his teddy bear from childhood who's still alive. Well, this is a flashback series of when they were in high school together.
Yes.
So, and of course, Alana Allback playing his mom. As a Sunny fan, having Roxy playing his mom. And of course, I mean,
Roxy.
That's Roxy, baby. And also, I mean, Alana Allback has been performing as an actress and as a singer basically since the 90s. Like, she was in Sister Act 2 as a teenager. Like, she's the one girl when they're doing tryouts, she starts singing the Love Boat theme. That's her.
I don't remember much about the movie's contents itself. I just remember when I had high school choir that the teacher would have to take off from time to time, but every time we'd have to watch Sister Act 2. So about the 8th or 9th time, this one kid raised his hand and went, "Can we watch anything besides Sister Act 2? If we watch that movie one more time, I'm going to hang myself." I was like, "Yes, thank you." I think we watched Independence Day instead, but
cool. Just any other tape. I don't care. I'll watch an instructional movie.
Right, just not Sister Act 2. Anyway, talking about Ted.
But yeah, this has been a hilarious series, and since it's streaming, they can kind of go for the throat and do some stuff that maybe the movies couldn't do, or your average television show on regular television can't do. Even some male full frontal nudity, which has happened briefly.
Yeah, there is male full frontal nudity in the series, but the writing on this, the jokes, the humor in it is exactly our kind of humor.
Yes.
It's been like I love the show. It's one of I've watched it multiple times. I've watched the first season a couple of times, and I'm actually going back through and I'm rewatching the rewatching the second season again. Just because there was so much fun about it. I'm bummed that there won't be a third season, but I get it.
I know it's an expensive show. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's an expensive show, and it's like, where else? I mean, you can do stuff, but it's like I would much rather have these like 8 or have I think it's like 16 episodes or something, 8 episodes a season.
No, it's 15 because there were 7 in the first season and 8 in the second season.
Okay, yeah. But I'd rather have these 15 episodes and because they're
than a crappy lesser season.
Yeah, exactly. Because Ted to me is a show where it's all killer, no filler. There are episodes I like better, but there's not a bad episodes in the series.
I agree. I've not come across a bad one, but one thing, since we're talking about Ted, I think there's a theory we need to discuss that has some merit. And I'm talking about a specific song that we enjoy around a certain holiday. And this is a song that you may be familiar with called The Monster Mash by Bobby Boris Pinkett.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you break down the song The Monster Mash, the song The Monster Mash is about a dance that people are doing to a song called Monster Mash that does not exist.
Yes. Yeah.
So at one point, Maddie and Ted, figuring this out, becoming extremely paranoid that somehow the space-time continuum has now broken, they decide they're going to write their own Monster Mash. That's not the Monster Mash, because that's a song about a dance to the Monster Mash song.
Right.
Yeah,
that's the kind of shit that the whole series is based around. And it's amazing. Yeah.
I love that whole thing. I was like, oh my God, I just broke my brain, but they're right.
Yeah. I'll wait until you get why you shouldn't eat eggs after noon. In the second season. Wait till you get there.
Goody. Yeah, so I think, like I said, I finished up 5. I've only got like 3 episodes left this season, so yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. You.
Let's see here. Well, one thing we could definitely talk about together here is the Joe Bob situation over on Shudder.
Yes, that is
So, if you're not familiar, last week, kind of one of the reasons why we didn't do a show is because Joe Bob, the week before the new episode of The Last Drive-In, which aired last Friday on Shudder, Joe Bob gets on social media and basically kind of gives a cryptic message that kind of made everybody start thinking that the show was getting canceled, that maybe Joe Bob was retiring. Something like it was something portended badly that made the fans nervous. That so much that Joe Bob and Darcy had to get back on social media days later, like, I'm not retiring, I'm not sick, but you got to tune in this week to the show. So we do, and we find out that basically it's the last episode of the regular show. So Shudder was mysteriously canceling the show. No real reason given why. Joe Bob had zero say in it. But we get apparently some quarterly episodes before the end of the year. So we'll get a Halloween, a Walpurgis Nacht episode. We're getting a summer episode, which I think maybe I Spit on Your Grave finally. And one other before the end of the year. And then that's it. Joe Bob at this point has no home.
But all is not lost, because
Sure.
Joe Bob has also come out and said he quitting was not his idea. They're canceled off of Shudder. However, the phone is ringing. They have many opportunities, and Joe Bob is not going anywhere. He is going to.
Well, he is, but he's going to a different place.
He's still going to be around. Let's just say that. Yeah, and one thing that was exciting to me was he was talking about, like, it opened him up to do more live dates, like the stuff that we're going to in April. And I cannot wait. I have heard about this How the Redneck Saved Hollywood presentation for years, but I've never gotten to see it.
Sir, do you realize that on this Friday the 13th, we are now less than 4 weeks away from that event?
I am so friggin' hyped. I cannot decide what I am getting signed, if it is going to be my Joe Bob Last Drive-In action figure with complete with a drive-in speaker and I believe Lone Star beer bottle. Anyway,
of course, yeah. But it's we know they may not get the Lone Star logo, but we know it's a Lone Star.
We know what it is. Or my OG Joe Bob Goes to the Drive-In.
That's a tough decision. Yeah. You know what though? Just in case, I'd bring both, because something tells me he's going to be cool and do both.
You're right.
But here's the caveat why he might be cool, because there may be some bribing involved. Because I'll be bringing my hardcover that you guys got for me for Christmas with Joe Bob's signature, and I may get another signature from him as well. And I certainly want Darcy to sign the book as well, because she's very important to Joe Bob history. Yeah. But I will be bearing gifts for both Joe Bob and Miss Darcy.
Ooh, what are you going to be giving them if you don't want to?
I'm not going to reveal entirely what I'm giving them, but I'm basically going to be gifting them comics, and I've done my research.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. I like this. This is how we get traction with them, and they remember us. Yeah.
This is how we get invited to fucking parties.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because they said they're hanging out before and after the show. So
that is true.
It's gonna be a late night for us.
Absolutely. No doubt. Yeah. I feel like that you're bringing your copy of the book that has the inscription in it, because he did comment on it in email. Yeah, about to know that you are the George in question for it.
Yeah, and basically you got this stuff. You got this crappy book instead of a nice bottle of bourbon.
Yeah.
So Joe Bob definitely has a lot. Like 2026, he's still gonna be on Shudder, but the question is, where will he be in 27? But he's got their offers. The one that excites me the most that you've talked about before when we've talked privately is Night Flight.
Dude, Night Flight would be so cool. I have heard, though, that part of the reason why Joe Bob gets kind of hard to license is that they want to keep, like, the Joe Bob is a kind of a show that you want to keep on in perpetuity, right? Like, where you want to have episodes that you can go back and watch. Yep. And it's also difficult to license shows or movies that will be cool with you breaking into them. from time to time. So I didn't realize that was an issue, but I guess it makes sense because Mystery Science Theater has issues with that sometimes, and
Yeah.
it's yeah.
But of course, especially with the certain kinds of movies that Joe Bob likes to air normally on his show, if I were a filmmaker and I heard that Joe Bob wants to show my movie on his TV show, I'm like, you can do whatever the hell you want with the damn thing. You're Joe Bob.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
you have a love and respect for this sort of fare that no one else in the world has. We all share it, but nowhere near the level of expertise and credit that Joe Bob has. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So if I was a filmmaker of a certain genre kind of a movie, I'm like, yeah, please,
Oh yeah, no doubt.
show my movie, get some exposure out there, and hell, I'll show up on the show and talk to you about it.
Yeah, I have heard it was more of like an issue of like where like I know with Shudder they were like, here's a list of movies that you can show, and it
Yeah,
rotated periodically, so they picked
yeah.
whichever ones. But now and then like certain cases they would get ones like I know Hogzilla was a famous one that they could
Hogzilla.
Hogzilla, yeah. Well, that movie, so like that movie was unfinished, right? So like that was the
Mm-hmm.
big deal with that. But like they air it on the last drive-in, and then all of a sudden, like the dude that like the money guy who's in charge of that movie suddenly wanted astronomical amounts to get it to re-air, so it
Yeah,
dropped off streaming almost instantly.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was a dumb mistake.
yeah,
Oh god. Well, let's see here. A couple of movies I want to talk about.
yeah.
Unless you got a certain topic you want to bring up here.
Actually, no. One thing that I just like one thing that I kind of wanted to give some love to that I have been enjoying hang on, as of late that we shit. Hold on, I'm gonna remember this one fucking time. Sorry.
Here we
There we
go.
go. Yeah, it's just how
Mm,
good like not only like the regular Titan run, but Savage Sword has been like as far as like just keeping that old like sword and sorcery renaissance alive and making it feel like the comics heyday back
yeah.
in the day, like just how good it has been with your one-stop Conan stories,
Yeah.
occasionally a two-parter or like a Solomon Kane backup or the Sailor Steve Costigan kind of deal,
Mm-hmm.
like yeah. It's like this just it's a hell of a good magazine. It's a hell of a good value too for only like $6. What like
Mm-hmm. I
yeah.
mean, like Seth is talking about. Like, if you remember the old Savage sort of Conan that Marvel did, it's the magazine you remember. It's black and white. It's on newsprint. Sometimes you get one story that goes throughout the entire issue. Sometimes you get
Mhm.
multiple stories of different characters. You'll always
Prose
get different
pieces.
prose pieces, articles, the pinups.
Yeah.
All the stuff you loved about the old Savage sort of Conan is right friggin'
Mhm.
here. Multiple. I can't remember how many issues we're in right now. We're in the teens. I think are
I
still on.
have 12.
12. Okay, we're 12. All right, so we're getting close to teens then. Yeah, we're right next door. But yeah, it is such a good series, and of course now you've also got the Savage Sword of Conan Reforged, which is reprinting the original Marvel series, but now in color. And so those are 3 issues in right now on those. Um, so that's
Do
a
you
fun thing.
y'all
So
still
yeah,
got those? Y'all still got like 2 and 3 issue 2 and 3 of those?
probably I'll get them for you.
Okay, yeah, because I think I'm missing 2 and 3 of them. Yeah, go ahead and start
Oh,
snagging me that one too, Reforged.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know I got you the number one. I wasn't sure if you still
Right.
want to do all the reprints since we had the OGs, but yeah, okay. I
Yeah.
will.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. Dude, I'm a Conan fan. I like and I do like the idea of too of like having that reader copy that I can just grab and read. And it's like,
Hmm.
and don't get me wrong, it's like I love those big omnibus hardcover deals that
Sure.
like Titan's been reprinting, but those things are so heavy sometimes. And like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
dig
yeah.
it. I dig it. Yeah. So, but yeah, I know those. Of course, you made us some omnibuses last year, which
Yeah,
was
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. Oh man, that was so much fun. I might be able to be getting back into that too, because I just had to. Yeah, the things around the work situation are kind of yeah.
Fluid.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, a couple movies I want to talk about that recently. Some more recent stuff. I've been watching a lot of old stuff too. Like I watched a real fun one from 1981 called Vigilante that had Robert Forster and Fred Williamson in it. So
Okay.
you,
Okay.
you know it's good. But
Right.
basically, it's essentially kind of taking place in New York at the time, filled with crime, pre-Giuliani kind of era. And so you got this group of guys that are just normal dudes that are basically taking justice into their own hands, hence the name Vigilante. So Fred Williamson heads up the group, right? Well, they all work together at this auto body shop, and Robert Forster is also one of the guys there. He's buddies with all the dudes, but he doesn't hang out with the vigilantes when they're doing their vigilante stuff. They've tried to recruit him, but he hasn't bought into it yet. Well, then
Okay.
his wife and son get attacked. Now, suddenly, he's all in. So, but for 1981, the violence and the gore is kind of ramped up. So it got a lot of criticism because of that. In today's day, it's kind of typical. But
Yeah.
in 1981, it was like, whoa. Like for an exploitation movie, this was kind of like, dude, this is a little harsh at times.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, it is currently streaming for free on Tubi. Do enjoy.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But more recent movies here that I've been watching, and one you've recently said was awesome that I need to check out, The Rip.
Oh, did I say that one? I wanted
I
to
thought,
watch it. I have
oh,
not seen it.
I thought you said you did. Okay. Anyway, okay. Well, you said you were going to watch this, but you hadn't yet. It's worth watching.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Well,
it's
good. I will
currently
make it.
streaming on Netflix, directed and written by Joe Carnahan. I did not know this before going into that, but when the credits rolled and that scene written and directed by Joe Carnahan, I'm like, no wonder why I love this movie, because Narc was his first flick, and it's one of the best written cop dark noir movies, in the 20th, 21st century. It's
Okay.
basically, that's when it stars Jason Patrick and Ray Liotta, where Jason Patrick's an undercover narcotics officer
Right.
and Ray Liotta's the corrupt cop and that kind of stuff. So great, very smart script, good suspense, good action, good performances. The Rip does not skimp either. You got, of course, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck starring in here. You also get Tiana Paris, who was just in One Battle After Another. Stephen Yo, who played Glenn on Walking Dead, Kyle Chandler, who's about to be Hal Jordan. So you got a really, really solid cast of people on here. Basically, these guys are cops of like a special unit that they're in Florida, so it's a lot of basically drug, stuff like that, dealing with money and
Right.
drugs
Right.
and things like that. So they're an elite unit, and they basically get a tip to go to a house because there's supposed to be it's a money stash house for the cartel. They get there, and the money is much more than they thought. So the RIP refers to basically, it's a slang term for basically raiding a stash house and taking the money and counting it and all the whole police thing there. But so it's referred to as a RIP when you
Right. Right.
basically you're raiding a stash house and taking the drug dealer's money, sort of thing. Well, of course, there's a lot of twists and turns, a lot of, is someone dirty? Are they not dirty? Who to trust, who not to trust? A lot of that goes on in here, but again, it's very smartly written. It kind of keeps you guessing, keeps you on the edge of your seat, literally until the end of the movie. And then when you think you know the ending, they pull one more on you. So it's so good like that. Great performances, lots of good action in here too. So very highly recommended. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a smart film, but it's a good action film too. So it'll keep you entertained, but it won't insult your intelligence either. And apparently, from what I heard, because Carnahan's really good about doing his research and stuff like that. So they had a lot of police involvement in this, so they can kind of get things accurate, to stuff here. So,
Okay.
so
I'm
yeah, so
down. Hell yeah.
there's some cool stuff. In another movie, this is a horror thriller that came out about 3 years ago called Bark. Not sure if you've seen this. It's
Arf,
starting to get
arf,
some.
arf.
Well, a little bit both. Basically, you get a gentleman who wakes up tied to a tree, hence why he's, you see Bark, and he's tied to a tree there and bound and whatever else. So he doesn't know why he's there, how he got there, or whatever else. And so it's kind of the figuring out sort of thing like that. But there's also this enigmatic stranger that seems to be kind of tormenting him as well. So it's sort of thing like that. So you're kind of finding out, but basically like this guy maybe have done something and there might be a reason why he's here. But for the most part, you're still kind of sympathetic to him. You're like, well, maybe he needs to get out of here, whatever else. I don't want to spoil too terribly much about this, but it kind of keeps you guessing a lot up until the end. But then when you finally find out the why he's there, I can say I've never turned on a protagonist faster in a movie in my entire life, and the guy deserved worse than he got.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
This is currently streaming for free on multiple services. I think it's on Plex, it's on Tubi, maybe even on Pluto as well. So it's all over the place right now, streaming for free. But I wouldn't say it's like a spooky movie, but it's definitely a thriller kind of. Guys tied to a tree. Why is it there? But not gore or anything like that. So if you want kind of like a lighter, good kind of thriller, keep you guessing kind of movie, this is what this is. This is so.
Okay.
But
okay.
But yeah, it's worth checking out. But yeah, I'm telling you, you're going to turn so fast on this guy. It's not even funny.
Okay, I'm down for this because it sounds like something along the lines of like, what was that movie? Barbarian.
Yeah,
where it's like every 20 minutes the status quo of the movie changes, and like you're just kind of like, oh, what?
Yeah, and there's literally like 3 people in this movie. So it's a very small, very, very small movie, very small cast, but it's also beautifully shot because like the forest that this is shot in, they do a good job of filming up some lovely scenery. But the lead fella, the one who's tied to a tree, is Michael Weston. So he's an actor who's been around doing a lot of stuff. You may remember him from the House series. He came in towards late. He was basically the con artist guy who ended up starting dating Lisa Cuddy to just kind of piss off House. Like he was a former patient, and then House kind of used him because he was a bit of like a con man, private detective sort of thing. And then he ends up dating Cuddy. So he was kind of this he was a likable guy, but he was also kind of a bit of a foil as well. So like I said, some of the later, like I said, people who watched House, you may remember him from there. But yeah, so it's good performances, but yeah, like I'm saying, like just be prepared to feel sorry for this guy for about 3/4 of the movie, and then that last probably 10, 15 minutes of the movie, yeah, you want this guy's head. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
Let's see. Unless you have anything else, I have one last tidbit to talk about.
Go right ahead, because we pretty much covered all of my stuff anyway at one point.
All right. So. Awesome. Well, the rumor mill has been very strong for quite some time about one particular movie that fans have been wanting to see for a long time. Some would say decades.
Let me guess. It is The Day the Clown Cried, the Jerry Lewis Holocaust film where he portrayed a clown that led children into the gas chamber. That film, the famous film that has only been screened, I believe, once or maybe twice. And okay, yeah. So
and Jerry Lewis. No, it's not that movie. Yeah, not the movie that Jerry Lewis never won. At first, it was going to get released after he died, and then right before he dies, like, no, I never want this movie to be released. So, there may be a contract, like it may get released in like 100 years or something, but as of right now, it will officially never be seen, even post-mortem. The movie I'm talking about, there's a certain person who basically has just signed a recent deal for production of 3 projects, and one's actually moving along much faster because the fans have been wanting this one for a little bit longer. Arnold Schwarzenegger is doing some stuff again. So we are potentially going to see a Commando sequel, some sort of Predator project, which I would suspect more likely of his Return to the Dutch character would be an animated sequel to Killer of Killers, which if you watch the film, if you haven't, it's an animated film over on Hulu. It's like an anthology with the Predators. It's awesome. It's amazing. Check it out. But there's a post-credit scene that kind of teases the possible return of Dutch. So, in a Predator animated sequel of Dutch coming back, that would be awesome. Because you can still use a younger Dutch using Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice, but you don't have to actually use old Arnie. Or, if we see old Arnie return to a live-action Predator, I would be fine with that too. But the
Yeah.
one that's really got me excited and has moved along a little faster because basically Arnold really, 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 really wants to do this one is King Conan.
I am cautiously optimistic. I mean, I want it to be like, I mean, you want it to be the whole thing where, it's like you want it to be Hour of the Dragon is
Yep.
what you want it to be
Yep.
with Schwarzenegger as Conan.
And I would be
But
fine if his son Patrick portrayed Khan, his firstborn son. So you've got the younger Schwarzenegger who could do the younger action stuff while still having old Conan do some action stuff, but not as much action stuff as the younger Conan can do.
I would be cool with his son playing a younger version of Conan. Maybe more akin. I hate the idea of Khan. I hate the son. I hate the Conan having a kid.
Okay,
I
okay,
that is like it's part of the. I know like some people like consider it part of the. It's the same thing with Elric. As soon as Elric has kids, I'm out. It's just I like part of the appeal to me. The draw is like the archetype of what it is, and it's like I guess not being a father that doesn't interest me. Like
sure.
I couldn't give any less of a shit about Conan as a dad. Like, it's like show me Conan is the king that doesn't understand like or that is like desperately trying to be a good king and
hmm
but has to like make like really difficult decisions and realizing that it's like all of my shit about barbarianism versus civilization kind of has a different skew now that you're head of the table. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
kind of stuff, man. If Robert Howard lived to explore that kind of stuff in Conan,
I
like
know.
yeah, oh man.
What was it Robert Howard always said that basically the difference between barbarians and civilization is that civilization knows it's impolite to cut off someone's head?
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, or civilized men can speak more freely because they know that they won't have their head cut off or
Yeah,
yeah,
something along those
something like
lines.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, I think you got the quote much better than I did.
I
The,
still butcher it. I know. Yeah, what? Yeah, but
you got much closer than I did. Anyway, the thing that made me excited about the potential that King Conan's actually going to happen. Have you heard who's attached to write and direct the movie?
no, I haven't.
Christopher McQuarrie.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that Christopher McQuarrie, who's basically directed the last 4 or 5 Mission Impossible movies, who's been working with Tom Cruise over the last 10 years, who's now basically a major player, mover, and shaker in Hollywood, who knows how to do large action, scale movies for large studios, and
Yeah.
is a good steward and also a good director and writer. So, yeah, if there's somebody that's going to get this shit done in 2026, it's McQuarrie.
It could be him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he knows people. He knows a lot of the movers and the shakers in the business, and he's got a lot of pull because of who he's worked with for the
Yeah.
last decade plus. So it's like on top of his own pedigree before he gets to with Tom Cruise. So it's like, the dude's got some stroke, and if anybody's going to get this movie off the ground and actually happening and be somewhat good, somewhat close to the magic that is the John Milius original, it's going to be McQuarrie.
Right.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
so I'm much more than cautiously optimistic. I actually have hope. but
Right on. Right on.
the hope is actually alive. So yeah,
Yeah.
we will see about this one. But nonetheless, man, good episode tonight. This was fun.
Yes, this was fun. I enjoyed it. It was good. This just felt like we was just casually chatting as opposed more of a show. Yeah, I like this. Yeah.
It had an agenda. Yeah, damn right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well, it's definitely good stuff. And of course, we're going to be taking off next week, and then we'll be back the week after. That's our new schedule. There, we're off 1 week, on 1 week, that sort of thing like that.
Yep.
So we will definitely be back in 2 weeks here, and then of course, will we get to do a show before Joe Bob? I can't, because I know Joe Bob is on the 11th, but I can't remember.
Yeah, we'll
Let's see
definitely
here.
do one show before Joe Bob. Or
I'm not sure if we do get to do a go home show before. Okay, no, Joe
oh,
Bob's on a Saturday. Yes. Yes. So April 10th will be the go home show before we go to Joe Bob.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
I like it.
I can't wait for Joe Bob. This is gonna be awesome.
I know, dude. It's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, we're gonna be just two kids in a damn candy store.
Oh,
So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna get, because we gotta basically, because I'll have to pick you up, and then we gotta go to Lexington. So yeah, we're gonna get home late.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna
That's
stop and
okay.
get dinner too on the way up there. Yeah, so
Well, shit, we'll probably maybe be getting breakfast on the way back.
yeah, you damn right. I have to be like, "Hey, can you let my dogs out if I'm not back in the morning?"
Yeah, Eric.
Yeah,
Moxley needs to go poopy, and I'm partying with Joe Bob.
right. Yeah.
He'll understand. So
Oh,
either way, folks, thank you guys for tuning in here. Appreciate everybody coming out. We had a good time tonight here. So definitely like and share with all of your friends and even people you don't like, because the Fanatic Forum is the home for geeks. So nonetheless, you all have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Hope the weather gets better. It's not 30 degrees. It's back into like the 60s and the high 70s. That's not like that.
right. Yeah.
But it's spring. It's early spring in Kentucky, which means the weather is completely batshit crazy. So anywho, so you all have yourselves a wonderful one, and we will see you next time on the Fanatic Forum, TTFN.
My name is Mark Weiss, and I am the founder and president of an organization called Comic Books for Kids. 6 years ago this month, we embarked on a journey of passion and heart. Our goal was to make a difference for children in hospitals and cancer centers. Little could we have ever imagined the response we have now. Starting with just hopes and dreams, we had no money for our mission. We had no product to give to the hospitals, and we had only called a couple hospitals and asked them, if we were to provide you with comic books, would you be interested? And they said yes. So we embarked on a 1-year journey to make a difference for these kids. We realized that even though we can't take away the reason these children are in hospitals, we can perhaps, while they are there, let them fly like a superhero, be princes and princesses, and embark on a mystical and magical journey to take them away from where they are in that hospital bed. Today, and thanks to your support, we are thrilled to say that we are now the largest charity in the U.S., supporting well over 200 hospitals in all 50 states for not only comic books, but for other pop culture items like Funko Pops, action figures, coloring books, Spanish bilingual items, backpacks, and more. When we received materials that were inappropriate for the young ones, we started a sister charity called Comic Book for Truth. And overnight, we became the largest charity in the U.S. for these same items to all branches of the military. We want to thank our friends for providing us their support and for allowing us the means to make so many happy with their gracious give to us.